College. Boston College finished 3-9 last year, 2-6 in conference play. Nothing really great to talk about with Boston College. So this year, their starting quarterback, Phil Jacovic, I know he's kind of, not even kind of, he's an older guy for college football, transferred out. He's actually going to Pitt, so he's staying in the conference. Zay Flowers, shout out my Ravens. He's now drafted. He's a Raven. But they do get the transfer wide receiver from UCF, Ryan O'Keefe. That should be a nice little add-on if they can figure out the quarterback position. Ace, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about Boston College.
Yeah, like you said, they have a pretty good transfer wide receiver coming in. I'm really interested to see what their redshirt sophomore quarterback's going to do. I think his name's Emmett Morehead. He's completed like 60% of his passes. Looks like he threw for over 1,200 yards, 10 to about 6 picks. But what really stands out to me about him is I remember watching them play Duke, and it was a pretty decent game by him. He's pretty accurate downfield, and he's kind of sneaky athletic. He's like one of those guys who got some wheels, put some field in front of him. He also led a comeback victory against NC State. I remember that. I think it was like a 1-point victory or something like that. So I think he has some good stuff,
Which is crazy considering how lopsided NC State was in Boston College.
Yeah, right.
But exactly. NC State problem was offense, and no lie. Their problem last year was offense.
Yeah, and Boston College problem was definitely defense. Stuff right here. They were last in first downs and total offense. Last in yards per play. Well, that's offense-wise, but they were also last in rush defense, last in rush offense, second to last in scoring defense, and they allowed 30 points per game. They're going to have to clean all that up. But
Boston College was really like Zay Flowers a bust.
Yeah.
So
I don't see them winning much this season.
Me neither. We'll get into that. One more thing I would like to note that they had the 57th overall recruiting class, which is not good. I mean, it's like middle of the pack. And like we both said, they were not good last year. So this doesn't really help too much with that. So now we'll start over the schedule. So I'm gonna name a game. We're gonna give you a prediction win-loss, and we'll just run it down like that, okay?
Okay.
Northern Illinois. I have this as a win for Boston College. Northern Illinois wasn't really that well last year. They dropped tremendously from that one team that I believe won the MAC 2 years ago, Rocky Lombardi. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and give Boston College that W.
Yeah, I agree. I can give them that W. First game of the season, probably a noon kickoff. They'll probably have the students out and everything. And they're playing at home. So, why not take them?
Second game, they then play at home again, Holy Cross. I have them winning winning against Holy Cross, Holy Cross, I believe, is the FCS school. They're not a bad FCS school by any means, but, it's a difference in athletes between FCS and FBS. So, I'm going to go with Boston College.
Yeah, barring like a complete meltdown from them, yeah, it's definitely a win for them.
All right, and now we get into a little bit of the conference play. We have Florida State at home, which I think this is just going to be a disaster. I think Florida State easily takes the W. I'm sorry, Ace, I know, but I'm gonna give Florida State the W.
I'm not mad at that. I would give them the W as well, Florida State, but I would do want to note that it's the red bandana game. So if there's any game that they're gonna have some energy, it's probably that one.
I feel you, but I'm way too high on Florida State to even let that be close. But I get it though, it's college.
Oh, for sure. You never know what can happen sometimes. But yeah, they're definitely taking that L for sure.
Then you go on the road, first road game against Louisville. And Louisville, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but Louisville now has a new head coach. Mm-hmm. So I got that also as an L, even though Malik, and we'll get into Louisville a little bit later. I just got it as an L to Louisville.
Yeah, I have it as an L as well. I think just a little more talent on the other side.
Okay, and now we have back at home against Virginia. And I was going back and forth with myself because I feel like this is a toss-up game. When I watch Boston College and Virginia, the games are really close. Even sometimes I think they shouldn't be close. I actually have them losing to Virginia.
I have this as a win for them, but like you said, I think it's a toss-up. My win is purely circumstantial on, how Virginia looks. We just don't know right now. They got a lot of new things going on, so we'll see.
Yeah, these both teams sport a lot of unknowns, so it's like we both saying, it's a toss up. I just gave them an L. I'm sorry. All right, and then we go to at Army, which I give a W to because Army has fallen off tremendously from that 10-win team I think 2 years ago. Andre
Yeah.
Carter is gone from Army, which was like their star linebacker. Army is normally like run heavy and option heavy, which I mean they can. If Boston College can really dig into the game plan and practice, they can try to contain the option. I'm gonna give this a W to Boston College.
Yeah, I give them a W in this as well. It's also kind of like going with the trend as well. I think BC won 6 of the last 7 against Army. So, and like you said, it's definitely not the Army team of past that surprised everybody and came out and had a pretty good season. Um, those military service teams are hit or miss.
Yep.
Usually.
And then we go to Georgia Tech. They go on the road, back-to-back road games against Georgia Tech. I have this as a W, but again, this was a toss-up. I know Georgia Tech, I guess technically re-signed. He was an interim coach last year, and now he's officially the coach. And
Yeah.
they actually had Georgia Tech playing well. But I'll get into what Georgia Tech lost later. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I just gave Boston College the W. You get the momentum from the win against Army. Hopefully you can carry that over to get the W against Georgia Tech. And you got to win these games to have any life left in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on this being a toss-up. I actually have a question mark beside it. I have it as an L for them, but a lot remains to be seen.
Then we go back home to UConn. And UConn actually played well last year. UConn actually got a lot of momentum last year. I think they even had a bowl game last year. So I got this as an L to UConn. UConn took a lot of teams by surprise last year. I think they can keep it up. I think they can ride the momentum. I think they get Boston College.
I gave them the W on the sole fact that it's a homecoming game for them. And they have a rivalry though, don't they? Like you would think, like kind of close teams.
Yeah.
It's not interstate, but I mean they're right
Close
there.
enough.
Yeah, I would think that would be a big game for them, especially like you said, a nice non-conference game for them. Yeah, I mean, if they lost this game, I don't think it would be in the. If they lost it, the season probably wasn't going that well anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so then we go to at Syracuse, and Syracuse wasn't a bad team either last year. They were up and down, but they weren't a bad team. And for that, I have them losing at Syracuse.
Yeah, I have them losing at Syracuse as well. I think that's a pretty tough place to play sometimes, especially recently since they found a resurgence with football. So yeah, I'm gonna give them the L on that one.
All right, cool. And then we go back home to Virginia Tech. Another toss-up game. Didn't know which way to go, but I ended up giving them the L. I think maybe losing 2 games to UConn and Syracuse is late in the season. People might be starting to mail it in, getting ready for next year. I think it's an L.
Yeah, I think it's an L too. But yeah, I think like you said, around this time of the season, there's going to be a lot of factors to determine how that game's going to go.
Yep. And then we go at Pitt, which I give Pitt the W. I like Pat Narduzzi. Pat Narduzzi, shout out Michigan State defensive coordinator when we had those great years. He's actually doing a really good job at Pitt. Pitt has the coaching advantage. Pitt has actually some talent. So, like I said, they also got their quarterback now. Phil Dracovic is now at Pitt. I'm giving Pitt the W.
Yeah, Pitt's just the better program here. They develop their players better. They may not have elite talent everywhere, but as you see, they constantly pumping out people into the NFL. They're constantly winning these big games in the ACC. Actually, I think Pitt is probably the second winningest team in the last couple of years in the ACC behind Clemson. So,
hey, shoot, they made a New Year's Six Bowl 2 years ago. I mean, they lost some my guys, but hey,
yeah.
I think Pickett didn't play, so they can hang
I
their hat
think
on that.
he got hurt or something. No, that
No,
was
he sat out.
Got hurt. Yeah, he sat out.
And then the last game of the season is against the U. So I got the U winning. I have that also as an L. I have them going 4-8, 1-7 in ACC play. All right, Ace, the last game of the season. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to take the L. Yeah, like I said, I think this would be one of those games where the talent that we have should shine, and hopefully, we ruin their senior day.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I'm sorry, Boston College. It just looks like another bad year, in my opinion. Hopefully, years down the line, you can get a generational talent like a Keekly or Andre Williams to come back and help you
get a couple more Zay Flowers and maybe in business.
Yeah, a couple more guys. So, all right, so now we're gonna move.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.